I jolted awake in the middle of the night to a faint sound beside me. The room was pitch dark, except for the soft blue glow of the alarm clock casting light on my wife's face. Anna. She was fast asleep, but her lips were moving, whispering a name I'd never heard before. David, don't go. I'm begging you. I froze. My heart pounded so hard it felt like it might tear through my chest. David? I don't know anyone named David. Not a friend. Not a colleague. No one. I reached out and gently shook Anna's shoulder, my voice trembling. What did you just say? Who's David? She blinked a few times, her eyes glazed, like someone being pulled out of a deep dream. A faint smile crossed her lips. Just a dream. You know how it is. Random stuff popping up. But her eyes wouldn't meet mine. Something inside me turned ice cold. Yeah, just a dream, I replied, forcing down the lump in my throat. Anna rolled over, pulling the blanket over her head. Her breathing soon settled back into a steady rhythm. But me? I couldn't sleep. I lay there, staring at the pitch-black ceiling. My mind was spinning with questions. Who is David? Why did she say his name? In that shaky, desperate voice. Am I overthinking this? Then, ding. A notification sound broke the silence. It came from Anna's phone on the nightstand. I flinched. 2 a.m. Who would be messaging her at this hour? My hand trembled as I reached for her phone. On the lock screen, a single line appeared. David, I can't wait any longer. My heart stopped. I sat frozen in the dark, gripping the phone tight. My breathing turned shallow, like the air in the room was disappearing. If I hadn't woken up that night, I might have never known the truth. And the truth was worse than betrayal. My name is Mark. I'm 38 years old, managing a small logistics company on the outskirts of Houston. All my life I thought I was the luckiest man on earth. Until that night. I grew up in a working-class family. My parents spent their days breaking their backs at the lumber mill and running a tiny corner store just to raise the three of us. My childhood was filled with simple meals, the endless hum of saws from dawn till dusk, and my father's words echoing in my head. Son, a man's only as good as his word, especially to his family. Maybe that's why I made a silent promise to myself. One day, I'd build a home so steady, so safe. My wife and kids would never have to worry or go without. I met Anna when I was 27. She was 24. The first time I saw her, she walked into the meeting room with her hair tied neatly back, arms full of files stacked so high she nearly dropped her phone. When she looked up and gave a shy smile, something in my chest skipped a beat. Anna wasn't strikingly beautiful like the women in commercials, but she had this quiet grace, a warmth that made people feel at peace. She was sharp, thoughtful, and had this way of listening that made you feel like you mattered. Our story began in late-night overtime shifts, quick burger dinners at the corner diner, and long talks about family, dreams, and the scars of the past. 2 years later, on a drizzly night, I proposed with a ring that cost me 3 months' salary. When she smiled through tears and whispered, "Yes," I swore to myself, no matter what, I'll protect that smile. Our wedding was simple. A small gathering of family and friends. But for me, when Anna placed her hand in mine and softly said, "From now on, I'm yours," it felt like the most sacred vow of all. Over the past 6 years, we've been through our share of highs and lows. When my company hit a rough patch, Anna was the one who kept me going. I still remember the night I came down with such a high fever I couldn't stand. She stayed up all night, placing cool towels on my forehead, coaxing me to sip water. In my feverish haze, I thought to myself, if there's a next life, I'd still marry this woman. When Sophie, our daughter, was born, Anna left her career to stay home with her during those first fragile years. I was grateful beyond words. Anna used to be my rock. But lately, something in her has shifted. She no longer wraps her arms around me tight when I come home from work. The warmth in her eyes, once like a winter fire, now seems distant, cold, like she's gazing at a place I'll never reach. Anna's been coming home late, saying it's urgent work at the office. Her phone lights up with more notifications than before. And one day, I realized she had changed her phone's passcode. I told myself, don't doubt her. She's your wife. Anna would never do anything to hurt this family. But that night, when she whispered the name David in her sleep, every bit of trust I'd built over the years began to crumble. I kept telling myself it was all just a coincidence. The late-night shifts, the texts coming in at midnight, even Anna changing her phone's password. Maybe she was just stressed. Maybe she just needed some space. Don't we all sometimes? But the more I tried to convince myself, the heavier the weight on my chest became. I started noticing the little things. Anna no longer shared stories about her office like she used to. She used to talk for hours about her coworkers, new projects, even the silly little hiccups in her day. Now, whenever I asked, "How was work today?" she'd just force a faint smile. "It was fine, honey." That smile? It wasn't the same as the woman who once held me tight, her eyes sparkling as she spoke about her dream of opening a small coffee shop. It was tired, distant, like her mind was somewhere far away, somewhere I couldn't reach. I still remember one evening. I came home earlier than usual because a meeting got canceled. On the way, I stopped to buy her favorite roses. I thought I'd cook dinner, surprise her, make the house warm and full of life again. But when I opened the door, the house was dark. The dim light in the living room cast long shadows. The dining table sat cold and untouched. And Anna wasn't home. I called her. She picked up on the third ring, her voice laced with background noise. "I'm so sorry, love. I'm helping my boss with some urgent paperwork. I'll be home late." I paused for a moment before replying. "Okay, just don't work yourself too hard." Then I heard it. A man's laugh. Low, warm, but so unfamiliar it sent a chill straight through me. Anna didn't come home until nearly midnight. She walked in with dark circles under her eyes and a faint hint of a new perfume clinging to her shirt. "Sorry, babe. Work ran late again." I forced a smile. "It's okay. Go shower and get some rest." But that night, lying next to Anna, sleep wouldn't come. I turned to look at her, the woman I once believed was my entire world, and felt a deep, twisting ache in my chest. Is this still the Anna I love? Or has she become someone I don't even know anymore? I thought back to that rainy night years ago when I promised her, "I'll protect your smile, no matter what." But a cold thought crept into my heart. Maybe I've been so focused on protecting this family, I didn't notice when one of us wandered too far to come back. That night, when Anna whispered, "Don't go, please," in her sleep, I woke up at the fragile edge between dream and reality. I wanted to believe her. I really, truly did. But then, the soft chime of a text notification sliced through the darkness, coming from her phone on the nightstand. "David, I can't wait any longer." I gripped the phone, my fingers numb as the cold spread up my arms and into my chest. I didn't ask. I couldn't. Because I knew the answer would shatter the little world I'd spent my whole life building. When did I lose Anna? Since that night, I haven't slept soundly. Every time Anna's phone buzzed, a sharp pain shot through my chest. I tried to act normal, but deep down, something had already shifted. I began watching Anna more closely. In the mornings, as I brewed coffee in the kitchen, I'd steal glances at her through the window, the woman I once believed was my safe harbor. Anna still smiled. She still kissed me goodbye before heading to work. But that kiss no longer carried the warmth it used to. At night, she came home later and later. She said there were urgent projects, late meetings. At first, I believed her. But the more I looked into her tired eyes and heard her evasive answers, the more my trust began to crack. One Thursday evening, Anna texted to say she'd be late. There was a farewell party for a colleague leaving the company. I nodded, forcing down the unease bubbling inside me. But the doubt wouldn't rest. I called Sarah, one of Anna's close colleagues. "Sarah, I heard Anna mention there's a farewell party at work tonight." "That's right, isn't it?" There was a brief silence on the other end. A farewell party? I haven't heard about anything like that." A cold shiver ran down my spine. I forced a laugh, my voice cracking. Maybe I misunderstood. "Thanks, Sarah." As I hung up, my hands trembled. It felt like someone had their fist wrapped around my chest, squeezing tighter and tighter. That night, Anna came home close to 11 p.m. "Si, sois sa, l'ontième." She smiled wearily. "You're still up? I'm sorry. The party ran longer than I expected." I swallowed hard, my voice hoarse. "It's okay. Did you have fun?" "It was nice." Anna disappeared into the bathroom, leaving me alone in the living room. I watched her go, my heart twisting painfully. She just lied to me. But why? Way. Did I do something wrong? Saturday morning, Anna said she was heading to a cafe to get some work done. I waited 10 minutes after she left, then quietly followed. She stopped at a small cafe about 15 minutes from our house. I parked far enough to avoid being seen. Through the window, I saw Anna sit down, open her laptop, and order a latte. I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. Maybe I've been imagining things. Maybe I've been unfair. But then a man appeared. He sat down across from Anna. They exchanged words, and then Anna laughed. The sound of her laugh, the laugh I thought I hadn't heard in so long, cut through me like a knife. I gripped the steering wheel tightly. My heart pounded, and my chest burned. The man looked to be in his early to mid-30s, tall, well-dressed. They talked for a while. Now and then, Anna lowered her head, her face flickering with worry. I reached for my phone, ready to snap a picture. But my hand froze. A part of me wanted to storm in, to demand answers. But another part just sat there staring in silence. If I walk in there, there'll be no turning back. About an hour later, the man stood up first. Before leaving, he leaned down and whispered something in Anna's ear. She nodded slightly, her eyes heavy with something I couldn't name. Then, he placed his hand on the table, gently covering hers for a few seconds before walking away. I froze. I wanted to rush in, to shatter everything. But all I did was clutch the steering wheel so tight, my knuckles turned white, and my palms bled. Maybe the most painful thing isn't being betrayed. It's realizing the person you love most might be happier with someone else. I left the cafe before Anna did, keeping my distance to avoid being seen. My mind was tangled, a knot of thoughts I couldn't untie. The image of that man placing his hand over Anna's kept replaying in my head like a broken film on loop. Who is he? Is David him? That night, Anna came home like she always did, her face showing a hint of exhaustion. But this time, she was quieter. She set her bag down on the chair, poured herself a glass of water, and disappeared into the bedroom without a word. I sat frozen in the living room, my eyes following her small frame as it faded down the hallway. What did I do wrong? To make her seek out someone else? Or maybe I was never enough for her? My throat tightened, and a dull ache spread across my chest. The next day, I quietly checked our shared bank account history. My stomach dropped when I saw the regular monthly transfers to an unfamiliar account. $2,000, $2,500. When did these start? Was it around the time she began staying out late? I took screenshots, but I didn't have the courage to confront her. Not yet. That evening, while Anna was in the shower, her phone buzzed on the charging dock. David, I miss you. Can we meet tomorrow? My hands trembled as I gripped her phone. How long has this been going on? As soon as I heard the water stop running, I quickly set the phone back down and drew in a deep breath, trying to steady myself. Anna stepped out, her hair still damp, wearing a thin nightgown. She smiled at me, but her eyes, they were empty, in a way I couldn't recognize. That night, I lay beside her, staring wide-eyed at the pitch-black ceiling. I remembered the vow I made the night I proposed. I'll protect your smile, no matter what. But what if that smile now belonged to another man? Maybe the most painful thing isn't betrayal. Maybe it's realizing I've already lost the woman I love most. The next morning, Anna said she needed to meet with a client. I nodded, hiding the storm raging inside me. But this time, I wasn't going to sit still. I followed her quietly, my heart pounding so hard it felt like it might burst out of my chest. She stopped at a luxury apartment complex on the north side of the city. From my car, I watched her walk into the lobby and press the buzzer for Unit 706. Moments later, the door opened. And there he was, the same man from the cafe, white t-shirt, clean-cut face, but his eyes held something I couldn't read. Anna stepped inside. Just before the door closed, I thought I heard a baby crying from somewhere inside. My chest tightened. A baby? What the hell is going on? I sat in my car, gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles split and bled. A part of me wanted to charge up there, pound on the door, and scream, "Anna, what are you doing?" But another part whispered, "If she really loves him, do you even have the courage to hear her answer?" I don't remember how long I sat there in my car, parked in front of that apartment. The sound of a baby crying from behind the barely closed door kept looping in my head, like needles pricking at a heart already torn to shreds. If Anna's having an affair, whose child is that? Could it be his? My throat was dry. My hands gripped the steering wheel so tight the knuckles turned white, and a bead of blood formed under my nail from clenching too hard. That evening, Anna came home around 9 p.m. Her face was calm, so calm it was terrifying. "You haven't had dinner yet?" she asked, her voice light, almost like a passing breeze. I forced a smile. Namshi. Not really hungry. Anna set her bag down on the chair and headed into the bathroom, leaving me alone in the dimly lit living room. I watched her silhouette disappear down the hallway, my chest tightening. There was a distance growing between us, an invisible chasm I didn't know how to bridge. That night, Anna slept soundly beside me, her breathing steady and soft. I lifted my hand, wanting to brush her hair back, but stopped midway. You once told me I was your whole world, but now I feel like a stranger in yours. The next morning, I decided to do something I hadn't dared in all these years. I asked to talk. Anna, can we sit down tonight and talk? Just the two of us. I looked at her, my voice unsteady with nerves. Anna paused, caught off guard for a moment, then nodded. All right, tonight. That evening, we sat across from each other in the living room. I took a deep breath, forcing my voice to stay calm. Lately, you seem tired. You're home late more often. Is there something you haven't been able to share with me? Anna stayed silent. Her hands gripped the edge of her dress, as if holding back a tremor. I know you're hiding something, I continued, my vision blurring with unshed tears. If there's something weighing on you, please, I'm begging you, tell me. Don't let me fill in the blanks with the worst possible thoughts. Anna inhaled sharply, her voice trembling. Mark, there are things I'm afraid to say. Because once I do, nothing between us will ever be the same. My chest tightened like a vice. I need the truth, Anna. No matter how much it hurts, I still want to hear it. She looked up at me, her eyes rimmed red. There was a vague, unspoken pain behind her gaze. But before she could speak, ring. The sound of her phone shattered the heavy silence like glass breaking. Anna flinched and stood up before I could react. You go rest. I need to take this call. She slipped into the bedroom, closing the door behind her. I sat frozen on the couch, my chest tightening as if someone had wrapped a steel band around it. Through the barely ajar door, I caught a deep male voice on the other end of the line. I miss you. When will you finally make up your mind? I sat frozen on the couch, the faint whispers slipping through the bedroom door, cutting into me like blades. I miss you. When will you finally make up your mind? The man's voice was deep and warm, yet so chilling it sent shivers down my spine. Anna came out a few minutes later, her face calm. So calm, it was terrifying. You should get some rest. It was a long work call. She forced a smile, but her eyes were slightly red, as if holding back tears. I looked straight at her, my chest tightening like a vice. What are you hiding from me, Anna? Who is that man? Anna froze. For the first time, I saw panic flicker in her eyes, but only for a split second before it disappeared. Mark, what are you talking about? Are you accusing me of something? Her voice trembled, not with anger, but with a fragile, defensive tone. I stood up, my eyes burning with pain. I saw you with him, Anna. I saw you walk into his apartment. Anna took a step back, her hands gripping the hem of her dress tightly. You followed me, she whispered, her voice cracking. I didn't want to, but you're not the Anna I used to know anymore. Mark. Her voice broke, tears spilling down her cheeks. I'm scared. If you knew everything, this family would never be the same again. So what then? Were you planning to stay silent forever? To let me rot in doubt? To let these questions eat me alive? You don't understand. I've been trying to protect you, to protect this family. Protect me? I let out a bitter laugh. By keeping secrets? By letting another man threaten you? I turned away, a hot tear sliding down my face. Maybe the worst pain isn't losing her. It's realizing she's been suffering alone because I was too blind to see it. That man is David. Anna's voice cracked as she spoke his name. My heart clenched at the sound. So, do you love him? I asked, my voice breaking, my hands trembling. Anna shook her head, tears streaming down her face. No, I don't love him, but I owe him something. I froze. Oh? What do you mean? David. He saved my life 3 years ago when I had that accident. He paid for everything, hospital bills, surgeries, and... Anna's voice faltered, her shoulders trembling. The baby you heard crying, she's his daughter. Not mine. Not ours. I stood there in stunned silence. If you don't love him, then why hide this from me? Why send him money every month? Anna looked up, her eyes filled with despair. He's been threatening me. He said he'd tell you everything, ruin our family, unless I sent him money. He said all he wanted was for me to visit him once a week, to make him feel like he still mattered. If I did that, he promised to stay quiet. I stood frozen in the living room, my arms hanging limply at my sides, as if every ounce of strength had been drained from me. Anna's words kept echoing in my mind. David, he's been threatening me. If I didn't do what he asked, he said he'd destroy our family. I stepped out onto the porch, drawing in a deep breath, hoping the cold night air might calm the storm raging in my chest. But the more I breathed, the tighter my heart seemed to squeeze. Shush here. She carried all of this, just to protect me and Sophie. And I doubted her. I let her endure it all alone. A sharp ache gripped my chest, nearly knocking the breath out of me. Anna stepped out behind me, her eyes swollen and red, her voice trembling. Mark. I turned and looked deep into her eyes, the same eyes that had been my haven for so many years. You shouldn't have carried this alone, I said hoarsely. You could have told me, instead of letting him hold power over you. Anna broke down, tears streaming down her pale cheeks. I was scared. Scared that if you knew, you'd despise me. Scared that if you knew, our family would never be whole again. I stepped closer, gently taking her cold hands into mine. I could never despise you, Anna. I only blame myself for not being strong enough to see how tired you've been. Anna buried her face into my shoulder, sobbing. We stood there in silence under the pale yellow porch light, like two lost souls clinging to each other for warmth. But then, in that fragile moment, a chilling thought pierced through my mind. Why does David have so much power over her? How could he threaten her like this? I gently pulled away, meeting her tear-streaked gaze. Anna, tell me the truth. With him, did it go further than what you've told me? Anna froze for a moment, then lowered her head in silence. My heart pounded violently, each beat threatening to tear through my chest. Anna, did you ever love him? She shook her head, tears falling like rain. No, I never loved him. But, her voice broke, her shoulders trembling. Before I met you, I made a mistake. I trusted David. I thought he was a good man. But then, he got me pregnant. And I lost the baby after he abandoned me. I stood there, stunned. Pregnant. You lost the baby, and you never told me. My head spun, questions and doubts crashing over me like a violent tide. I clenched my fists, feeling warm blood seep from my palms where my nails dug too deep. Why did you hide this from me? Anna choked back a sob, her voice slicing through the heavy air. Because he was your best friend. I staggered back a step, like someone had just slammed a fist into my chest. David, he used to be my best friend. Memories I thought were long buried came rushing back like sharp, icy blades. David, the man who stood by me when I had nothing. The man who raised his glass and toasted me at my wedding. I let out a hollow, rasping laugh that burned my throat. So this is how it ends. The one I called my brother. The one I trusted with everything. He's the one who destroyed it all. Anna collapsed onto the floor, tears streaming down her face, her voice breaking apart. Mark, I'm sorry. I tried to bury it all. I thought I could start over with you. But David, he never let me go. Rage and pain coiled in my chest. My veins felt like they were about to burst. The man I trusted more than anyone. He didn't stab me in the back. He pressed his hand on the deepest wound in my heart and laughed. Tell me, I rasped, each word like a stone in my throat. Did you come to me just to run away from him? Anna shook her head violently, sobbing. No, you're the man I love. David, he's just a mistake from the past. But he's used that past to chain me, to make me pay a debt that should have never been mine. I froze. Pay his debt? What are you talking about? Anna's voice trembled as her shoulders shook violently. Mark, don't you remember? Back then, when your startup failed, David was the one who loaned you money. You even told me David saved me. I couldn't let you know that. The price of that money was me. I stood there in stunned silence, my mind fracturing like a mirror shattering on cold stone. So, all these years, he was never really gone. He's been here all along, a shadow clinging to our marriage, like a ghost. I turned, my voice low and cold, so cold even I didn't recognize it. I need to see him. Right now. Anna grabbed my hand in panic. Mark, no, please, don't. He's dangerous. Don't do something you'll regret. I yanked my hand free, my eyes bloodshot and burning with an unfamiliar fire. You've suffered long enough. Now it's my turn. I stormed out, the door slamming shut behind me. The night air cut across my face like shards of ice, but I felt nothing anymore. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A message lit up on the screen. "David, we need to talk. Don't let this go too far." I gripped the phone so tight my knuckles whitened, heat surging through my chest like molten steel. "All right then. If he wants to talk, I'll show him the cost of trampling on a brother's trust and a man's love." I strode toward my car, the engine roaring to life like a beast cornered and ready to strike. In the rearview mirror, my eyes reflected a terrifying glare, the glare of a man who's reached the bottom of his pain. If I walk into that apartment, either I end this or it ends me. David's apartment was on the 12th floor, luxurious to the point it almost stole my breath when I stepped in. I stood at his door, my hand clenched so tight the knuckles turned white. My heart pounded, not from fear, but from the fire roaring in my chest. He wanted to see me? Fine. But this time, he won't be the one setting the terms. The door swung open. David stood there, wearing that same faint smirk I'd seen countless times before. The smirk I once trusted like a brother's. "Mark." His deep, even voice dripped with mockery. I knew this moment would come. "Shut up," I growled, stepping into the apartment, my eyes locked on him like a predator. David closed the door slowly, then leaned casually against the counter, arms folded across his chest. "So, what are you here for? To beg me to let Anna go? Or to cry about your precious brotherhood? You've destroyed my family." I hissed through clenched teeth, each word heavy like a hammer striking steel. "And you dare stand here and call that brotherhood?" David shrugged, his eyes glinting with a cruel, venomous amusement. "Mark, you really are naive. Did you forget? Who pulled you out of the gutter when you were nothing? Who poured money into you so you could have the life you brag about today? You owe me, and yet you strut around like you're debt-free." My fists clenched tighter, nails digging so deep into my palms I could almost feel the skin break. He's right, I did owe him once. But the price he's demanding was never his to claim. I took a shaky breath, my voice hoarse, every word cutting my throat like glass. "You're right, I owed you. But I never owed you my wife's heart. And I damn sure don't owe you the right to ruin my daughter's life." David let out a cold, hollow laugh, the sound shrinking the air around us. "You really think Anna never loved me? You really believe she chose you out of love? How sweet." Many nights, Mark, when she lay beside you, her thoughts were still with me. The words hit like a blade to the chest, twisting deep into bone. I stood there for a moment, my breathing ragged, my heart hammering so hard it felt like it would burst. Maybe the real pain isn't losing Anna. It's not knowing if she ever truly loved me, or if she was just running from him. I stepped forward, eyes burning red, each word slipping out through clenched teeth. "How much do you want? I'll pay it. But from this moment on, you disappear from my life." And hers. David's smirk widened, his gaze sharp enough to cut. "You think it's that simple? I don't want your money. I want Anna to remember she was mine first. And you'll always be the man who came second." The luxurious room was so silent, I could hear the pounding of my own heart, each beat louder than the last. David stood across from me, arms folded, his faint smirk dripping with mockery. "Mark, why are you here? To beg me to let Anna go? Or to prove you're a man?" My fists clenched so tight the knuckles turned white. But then I let go, my breathing ragged, chest rising and falling. I once called him my brother. I believed as long as he was there, I'd never fall. And now, that same brother is standing here, trampling on everything I hold dear. "David," my voice cracked, each word scraping out through gritted teeth. "You've won. You took my trust. You stole Anna's peace. And you turned every night I've spent beside her into hell, filled with questions that will never be answered." David let out a sharp, cold laugh, his eyes as empty as ice. "See, you were always just the second man. Anna loved me once, madly. And even now, are you sure her heart truly belongs to you?" The words cut deep, like a blade sliding between ribs, twisting mercilessly. Maybe the thing I fear most isn't losing Anna. It's realizing she never loved me enough to begin with. My phone buzzed in my pocket. "Anna." I stared at the screen, my hands trembling. "Mark, please don't do anything reckless. I'm begging you. He's more dangerous than you think." Her voice shook, choked with tears. But in that moment, a dark thought flickered through me. Is she worried for me, or for him? I gripped the phone tight, my voice low and heavy. I trusted him once. But now, Anna, I don't know who to trust anymore. David stepped closer, his voice a cold whisper of venom. Mark, don't you get it? That woman, she was never truly yours. You're just the replacement, the man I allowed her to settle for. I drew a deep breath, struggling to stay upright as my heart shattered into sharp, jagged pieces. If I strike him down now, what makes me any different from him? But if I walk away, he'll haunt us forever. What do you want? I growled, my eyes burning red. David's smirk deepened, his gaze as sharp as a knife. I want Anna to remember she was mine first, and I want you to live with that truth for the rest of your pathetic life. I stepped closer until we were face to face, my voice trembling with rage. You've taken everything from me, but hear me now. This will be the last time you ever hurt my family. I stepped out of David's apartment, the door clicking shut behind me with a hollow echo. The corridor stretched ahead, long, cold, like a tunnel with no light at the end. Each footstep landed with a dull thud, merging with the slow, heavy beat of my heart. In my coat pocket, I gripped the wedding ring, the same ring I'd slipped onto Anna's finger on the day I believed all of life's storms had finally passed. Turns out, that was the day the real storm began. I stood still in the hallway, staring into the dim haze ahead. My breath curled in thin wisps, dissolving into the dark. Maybe I was right not to lay a hand on him, but I'm not sure that means I've won either. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Anna. I hesitated for a moment before answering. Mark, are you okay? Her voice trembled, fragile, like one cold word from me could shatter her completely. I'm fine. But Anna, my voice rasped, dry and low. I can't come back. Not yet. You're leaving me? I closed my eyes, clutching the ring so tightly my fingers went numb. I'm not leaving you, but we both need time to find ourselves again. When you're ready, when the past no longer holds us hostage, come find me. I'll wait, but not forever. Mark, I'm sorry. Her voice broke into sobs. But I don't know if I have the courage to come back. I lowered the phone, standing motionless for what felt like an eternity. A single hot tear fell onto the back of my hand. I couldn't tell if it was from anger, heartbreak, or release. I stepped out of the building. The night air lashed my face, sharp and cold, carrying the salty scent of a city washed in rain. Across the street, I saw a man holding his little girl in his arms. She slept against his shoulder, her tiny fingers clinging to his jacket as if afraid to let go. I used to dream of a family like that. But sometimes, love isn't about holding on. It's about having the strength to let go when their heart was never truly yours. I typed one final message to Anna. I forgive you, and I forgive myself too.